What's going on with you two kissing each other and shit?
Bro, shut your ass up before I break this shit.
Dude, hey, yo, that ass, I would love to see you try that shit.
Bro, what are you talking
I would love to see you try that shit. Who the f are you sitting up in front of me?
For a fleeting moment in 2021, the Island Boys twins, Alex and Frankie Venegas, seemed to have the world eating out of their hands. Their viral TikTok hit, I'm an Island Boy, was raking in tens of thousands of dollars a day, fueling boasts about $300,000 watches, $30,000 tattoos, and a lavish lifestyle that make anyone green with envy. But just a few years later, that glitz fizzled like sea foam on the ocean. Frankie's been arrested over 3 times for charges ranging from drugs and guns to domestic violence, while Alex grapples with a trashed credit score courtesy of his own twin brother. From TikTok stars, they've plummeted to homeless drifters, scraping by on bargain bin cameo videos for a measly $30, a humiliating fall for guys who once bragged money comes as easy as printing it. What sent these brothers, once perched on fame's peak, crashing into the abyss so fast? Was this relentless nosedive fated from that shocking kiss between them, or was it just a pileup of boneheaded decisions?
Normally I wouldn't reply to a comment like this. I don't understand why you're being so hateful towards me.
Alex and Frankie Venegas, born July 16, 2001 in Florida, didn't exactly grow up in a cozy bubble. Their dad died when they were young, leaving their single mom to scrape by in a rough West Palm Beach neighborhood. Their childhood wasn't just short on love, it was steeped in chaos, with the twins in and out of juvenile detention. Public records and local news report over 35 arrests between them for crimes like theft, robbery, and drug possession. In a 2022 No Jumper podcast interview, Frankie admitted bluntly, "We were hooked on Percocet by 15. I overdosed and hit the hospital 3 times. Their mom, fed up, kicked them out at 18, leaving 2 aimless teens with no skills beyond reckless bravado." This was the messy starting line for the Island Boys, a story built not on talent or ambition, but on turmoil and past scars. A random moment in October 2021 briefly changed their path. In a video, Alex and Frankie stood in a pool flaunting spiky palm tree hair, bodies covered in tattoos and diamond teeth, belting out, "I'm an Island Boy and I've been trying to make it." The clunky tune, bizarre style, and fake Jamaican accent turned them into a meme sensation, racking up 9 million views before the video got yanked for violating community guidelines. People weren't hooked by the music, but by the sheer weirdness. One Reddit user called them 2 walking palm trees speaking a language no one understands, while a Twitter jab mocked, "They're not rappers, they're proof you can overcome any disability with enough confidence." This meme-driven fame, viral but fleeting, planted the seeds for their downfall like a ticking time bomb in their fake glory spotlight. Still, in those early days of fame, the Island Boys didn't see their limit. They turned down a collaboration offer from rapper Kodak Black, a rare shot at a legit career. Instead, they dove headfirst into reckless spending, $100,000 on jewelry, $300,000 on watches, flaunting rented or borrowed Bentleys and Porsches. In a late 2021 TikTok livestream, Frankie bragged, "We're pulling $40,000 a day, easy as printing money. Who needs a job when you can stand in a pool and become a millionaire?" But behind the swagger was a grim truth: no financial plan, no discipline, no foundation to sustain success. On Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, they doubled down, "All the haters are just jealous. We'll top the Billboard charts in 5 years, just watch." That blind arrogance locked them in a self-destructive spiral where oversized egos drowned out any shred of reason.
Do you boys feel like you have an inherent musical gift?
Inherent, like inherent.
Born with it?
I mean, I've been singing since I was a little kid. Yes, too.
Do you have that it factor?
Yes, I'm a star. Yeah, we do.
But that fleeting spotlight faded fast when the public caught on to the truth. The I'm an Island Boy video stormed TikTok in late 2021, catapulting Alex and Frankie Venegas from nobodies to viral sensations. But when they dropped the official track in December, the backlash was brutal. The YouTube video got roasted, with dislikes nearly matching likes. One comment summed it up: "This is why humanity shouldn't have TikTok. I just lost 3 minutes of my life to what?" Their delay in capitalizing on the viral wave snuffed out their golden shot, turning them from the center of attention to a fleeting joke. Worse, the Island Boys didn't just lose the public, they got openly mocked by music industry heavyweights. In an early 2022 Instagram livestream, legend Snoop Dogg didn't hide his disgust when asked about them. With his signature drawl, he jabbed, "Gang gang, they gotta use that word. I'm speechless." 2 fools in a pool thinking they're rappers?
I'm an island boy, I've been trying to make it. I ain't seen it with a gang gang slang. You ain't
gang, they ain't got to use that word. I'm speechless. 2 goofballs in the pool.
You know why I'm not speechless?
Why?
Because I'm an island. What is happening?
I don't know and ain't trying to understand it.
Damn it.
What's understood don't need to be explained.
Snoop's roast wasn't just a hit to their egos, it was a music icon, declaring they had no place in the game. The clip spread like wildfire, with thousands of comments piling on. Snoop burned the Island Boys without even trying. But instead of learning and leveling up, the boys doubled down, flaunting their delusional sense of talent and clout. In a TikTok video posted right after, Frankie fired back aggressively. "If Snoop Dogg said that to my face, I'd beat him down. Who's he to diss us?" The claim wasn't just absurd, it showed their blinding arrogance. Challenging a legend like Snoop Dogg with a 3-decade career and millions of fans was a glaring sign their egos had ballooned way beyond their actual skills. Their delusions only grew. In a January 2022 live stream, Alex boasted, "We're the future of hip-hop. Snoop Dogg, Eminem, they're all washed up. We're the new wave." The statement sparked a tidal wave of ridicule. Island Boys comparing themselves to Eminem? What a joke. Snoop called them fools in a pool, and he's spot on. Yet despite the criticism, they didn't bother improving their craft. Instead, doubling down on their fake sense of power. Clashing with Snoop Dogg and rejecting every chance to learn pushed the Island Boys into a dead end. Even when rapper Kodak Black offered to collaborate, they brushed it off, saying, "We don't need anyone's help." That arrogance cost them any respect from the industry, turning their feud with Snoop into the first domino in a cascading collapse where the Island Boys' inflated egos and delusions were laid bare, shoving them straight down a road with no way out. Of course, their delusions of talent were just the start of a long string of scandals. During a February 2022 appearance on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, Alex and Frankie Venegas laid bare an arrogance so intense it left even curious fans shaking their heads.
I think if God forbid it doesn't go in your guys' direction, for real, I think you guys take all of your jewelry assets and invest into something. So you guys will never ever be broke again. So I don't think there's ever gonna be a broke situation.
Yeah,
That wasn't like a hate shot.
I don't need financial advice.
we don't
when
need
I probably
financial
make more money
advice
than
from
you.
That was me being nice. It wasn't me being like an asshole.
not
I could be an asshole. I could turn it up and be an
Why don't you
asshole.
go talk to
Being
somebody
asshole
else
is not
about
gonna
that?
go in your favor. But
No, it could go in my favor.
you really don't want to go there, though.
I could go there because I was giving you guys nice advice and you guys were being assholes.
Hey, George, keep talking. I'm gonna walk out.
I'm right here, you guys.
Okay, what are you trying to say?
You guys are throwing a lot of threats. I'm sitting right here.
No one's threatening you.
You guys said it's not gonna go my way. This is not the Nilk Boys. We don't do fake over here.
You trying to scare me or something? I'm not scared of you, huh, man?
No, here, I'm moving for you. I was giving you nice advice, bro.
I agree with that.
The moment went viral on social media. A textbook case of self-sabotage. Instead of seizing a chance to learn or build goodwill, they lashed out at the very people trying to warn them about the fragility of their fame. One widely shared comment nailed it. The Island Boys just shot themselves in the foot on Logan Paul's podcast. From that stumble, they dove deeper into a spiral of absurdity. Rather than honing their music skills, the Island Boys clung to attention with staged TikTok stunts. In March 2022, they posted a video of a heated argument over who wrote "I'm an Island Boy." Profanity, over-the-top gestures, faces red with fake rage. It was so hammed up, nobody bought it. The clip ended with a melodramatic reconciliation hug and a caption. "We're brothers, drama's just for fun." But instead of winning sympathy, it was slammed as a cheap trick. Viewers roasted them. They think we're dumb enough to fall for this fake crap. Just a pathetic view grab. This constant staging turned them into a symbol of calculated desperation. Instead of proving their worth, they leaned on a formula: stir up drama, snag views, then claim it was all for laughs. But once audiences caught on, the drama stopped being engaging. It became proof of their creative bankruptcy. At that point, the Island Boys had trapped themselves. No quality music, no fresh shocks, just increasingly fake noise. What's worse, their aggression didn't stop at the stage or social media. It bled into potential industry relationships. Instead of humbly learning, they openly challenged icons bigger than them. In one live stream, Alex smugly declared, "We're the future of hip-hop. The old heads are obsolete." It was like digging their own grave, alienating real rap fans and slamming shut any doors to collaboration. Anyone in the industry knows, arrogance without talent only leads to isolation. The more they failed, the more they doubled down on needing no one. A clear example, when Florida's own Kodak Black, a legit star, offered to collaborate, the Island Boys shut him down cold. Their reason: "We don't need anyone's help." That partnership could have been their shot to go from viral gimmick to actual artist. But their arrogance led them to reject it, blowing the one chance they had to step into music's serious side. But the domino chain of scandals didn't stop there. The Island Boys had no clue how to manage money, and that ignorance shoved them down a debt-ridden dead end. In their early fame days, Alex and Frankie Venegas spent like cash was infinite. They splashed on rented Bentleys and Porsches, sketchy high-end jewelry, and lavish parties just to keep up their TikTok millionaire image. According to their former manager, who spilled the tea on Twitter in June 2023, the twins owed him $150,000 from loans to cover up the fact they weren't as rich as they bragged. They had no cash, just debt, he wrote, posting pics of unpaid loan contracts. Their main income, those cameo videos, dropped from $135 a clip in late 2021 to a measly $30 by mid-2023. A pathetic plunge that mirrored their fading glory, snuffed out by their own recklessness. A YouTube commenter summed it up. From pulling $40,000 a day to hawking cameo shoutouts for $30, the Island Boys turned themselves into a punchline. In a desperate bid to prove they weren't broke, Frankie posted a TikTok video in mid-2023. Dumping a handful of diamonds down a toilet with the caption, "We're still rich, losers." The stunt was meant to flex their wealth, but it only sparked brutal mockery. "Those diamonds are obviously fake," one Twitter user scoffed. "They can't afford a coffee, let alone diamonds." The move wasn't just absurd, it was pitiful, laying bare their desperation to cling to a shattered image of luxury. The root cause: zero financial literacy and a string of dumb decisions. They sold the rights to their viral hit "I'm an Island Boy" for a measly few grand, a steal for producers, but a disaster for them. Cash burned on worthless flexes, fancy watches, boastful live streams, ran dry fat. A Reddit jab hit hard. They thought they were millionaires, but now they're just broke dudes with goofy hair and fake diamond teeth. The Island Boys' fake extravagance finally got exposed, pushing them into a corner of desperation. With no steady income, they leaned on cheap gimmicks to stay relevant, from shock value videos to hollow boasts. The public mocked and pitied them in equal measure. One Twitter user nailed it: "From TikTok stars to flushing diamonds down a toilet, the Island Boys hit rock bottom faster than one of their songs." Their debt wasn't just a money problem, it was proof of their self-destruction, letting fleeting fame blind their reason and lead to an inevitable bitter end. The desperation led to even more shocking moves, marking the final nail in the Island Boys' coffin.
100% thought they were gonna kiss at the end. So y'all think that it's cool to think about boys kissing each other? And twins too at it? Y'all into the incest and stuff? Look, we came from the same womb, but we don't think like that. You feel me? We're not like that at all. Stop thinking like that. It's weird. And don't worry about that stuff. Yeah.
By early 2023, with their spotlight nearly snuffed out, Alex and Frankie Venegas turned to a last-ditch effort to cling to attention, launching an OnlyFans account. For many, this wasn't a shock. Countless influencers pivot to the platform when their TikTok or YouTube fame fades, but the Island Boys didn't go for normal content to pull followers. They chose a stunt that left the world floored. The twin brothers kissed each other. In a short TikTok clip, they appeared with their signature look: spiky palm tree hair, tattooed faces, and fake diamond teeth gleaming. Then out of nowhere, they locked lips on camera. Text flashed across the screen: "Join OnlyFans to see more." The video lasted mere seconds, but its impact was a bombshell. If the Island Boys were once an internet joke, they'd now become a sick one. The public didn't just laugh like in the early days, they were stunned, then furious. This wasn't shock for entertainment anymore, it crossed into taboo territory: incest. Even those used to adult content found it hard to stomach. Adam22, founder of the No Jumper podcast and a big name in the 18+ industry, tweeted in disbelief, "I've built a career on adult content, but this is too much. This ain't how you make money." If a shock content veteran like Adam22 found it unacceptable, you know the Island Boys went way too far. The video was quickly yanked by TikTok for violating community guidelines, but the damage was done. The harm wasn't about views, it was about reputation. Thousands of comments flooded Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. One Reddit user wrote, "The Island Boys just turned themselves into a disgusting joke. Who wants to see brothers kiss?" Words like gross, shameful, and desperate became their new labels, permanently glued to their name. Frankie, sensing the backlash spiraling out of control, held a live stream in February 2023. Looking uneasy, his voice shaky, he confessed, "The kissing part, I regret it. I wish I'd never done it. We just wanted to shock for money." But the apology couldn't salvage a thing. The public didn't buy it as a spur-of-the-moment mistake. They saw a harsher truth: the Island Boys were willing to sell their dignity for a few bucks and a fleeting hit of attention. This was the key difference from past scandals. Blowing up on a podcast, blowing cash, or staging fake TikTok drama could be chalked up to impulsiveness. But an incestuous kiss, unforgivable. It didn't just turn fans away, it buried them under a layer of disgust. The Island Boys went from internet clowns to symbols of depravity, far beyond dark humor or media stunts. A Twitter comment summed it up: "From TikTok stars to flushing fake diamonds down a toilet, and now kissing for views. This isn't a career, it's a tragedy." For the Island Boys, this was the end game. They'd run the full circle of cheap fame, from curious meme to awkward gimmick to sick desperation. And as the door to stardom slammed shut, all that remained was the image of two lost souls, torching their own dignity in a frantic chase for a fading, hollow spotlight. But the tragedy didn't end there. If 2023 was when they obliterated their dignity with the OnlyFans scandal, 2025 was when they paid the price with their freedom and finances. This was the final chapter of their unstoppable freefall. In February 2025, Frankie Venegas was arrested in Naples, Florida, for possession of drugs and an unregistered firearm. It wasn't his first tangle with the law. He'd already been nabbed multiple times for reckless driving, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence. But this arrest hit differently. It was his most serious yet, and it marked the moment the public turned their backs for good. Before, Frankie could dodge scrutiny with his bad boy bravado and shock jock persona. Not this time. Nobody was laughing anymore. The Island Boy image, once tied to goofy memes and quirky TikTok clips, now showed up in crime reports alongside a cold mugshot. For many, it was the final proof of an unrelenting nosedive, from global internet sensation to petty criminal. While Frankie faced jail time, Alex, the other twin, sank into financial ruin. Crippling credit card debts and the tens of thousands left him broke. The Island Boys brand, once hyped as a money-printing machine for a few fleeting months in 2021, had completely collapsed. Their cameo videos, which once pulled in hundreds or even thousands per clip, now sold for a measly 30. To the public, it was a bitter punchline. The guys who bragged about making $40,000 a day like it's printed were now scraping by on pocket change. This wasn't just financial failure, it was public humiliation. The contrast between their old live streams flaunting fake wealth and their current reality, bankrupt, debt-ridden, hawking cheap shoutouts, was painfully ironic. The downfall wasn't sparked by one misstep, but was the inevitable result of countless bad choices. They staged fake drama for views, leaned into increasingly twisted stunts to stay relevant, and finally stepped into crime. Every decision funneled them toward a single path: self-destruction. The public, once entertained by their antics, no longer saw them as worth watching. Instead, the Island Boys became a toxic sideshow, something for society to shake its head at, for media to slap on headlines, for viewers to cite as a cautionary tale of internet culture's decline. A meme that once brought laughs had turned into a warning. The saddest part, even at rock bottom, they didn't see reality. In March 2025, days after his release from jail, Frankie popped up on TikTok. With a smug grin, he boasted, "Life is peace and prosperity. I survived 24 hours in lockup." To him, jail wasn't a fall, but a victory. A moment to spin into content, a story to flex. That moment laid bare the raw truth. Even in the dark, the Island Boys clung to delusion. In their minds, every scandal, whether the OnlyFans fiasco, financial ruin, or arrest, could be twisted into a win, a chance to prove they still mattered. But to the public, that smugness only highlighted their shamelessness and denial. This is the real tragedy, not the bankruptcy, not the jail time, but their refusal to wake up from the delusion. A fantasy that began in 2021, standing in a pool singing "I'm an Island Boy" with the belief the world was there. 4 years later, with the spotlight gone, they still clutched that mirage like drowning men gripping a rotten log. The Island Boys didn't just fail to hold on to fame, they failed to face themselves. And that's why, even when everyone else walked away, they still called themselves win. A bitter paradox and a wake-up call for anyone who thinks fame can substitute for talent, discipline, or character. At its core, the Island Boys story isn't a musical journey or a creative experiment. It's a stark warning of the dangers of fleeting fame. When your rise comes from no talent, no discipline, no foundation, that spotlight quickly becomes a fire that burns you to ashes. From a goofy poolside clip, the Island Boys became a global meme. But just a few years later, that same image landed in headlines tied to words like incest, bankruptcy, and arrest. It was a freefall no one bothered to catch. And when the curtain fell, the Island Boys left no musical legacy, no shred of respect. They left a cautionary tale: 15 minutes of fame can be bought with recklessness, but the cost might be your entire life. Their collapse is a textbook tragedy. Frankie Venegas kept tangling with the law. Domestic violence, reckless driving, and a 2025 arrest for drugs and an unregistered gun. Alex, though quieter, couldn't escape the spiral. Ruined credit, crushing debt, and their only income. Those cameo videos plummeting from hundreds per clip to a measly $30. The Island Boys brand, once worth millions in its brief heyday, is now just a faded memory, a punchline on social media. What they lost wasn't just money or fame, it was all respect. The public doesn't see the Island Boys as victims of the internet age, but as architects of their own ruin. Delusions of talent, flashy habits, zero financial discipline, and a string of bad choices turned their fleeting glow into eternal darkness. A Reddit user put it bitterly, "The Island Boys aren't victims, they dug their own graves." Maybe that's the truest way to remember them. Not as stars, but as a bitter lesson about the cost of arrogance and recklessness. The Island Boys were once a viral sensation, a fleeting fever that had the world turning its head. But that spotlight vanished as fast as it came, leaving behind a story steeped in regret and outrage. From TikTok stars with millions of views, they plummeted to homeless, debt-ridden outcasts entangled with the law. Their tale is a harsh reminder: fame can strike like lightning, but without a foundation, it fades even faster. A final Reddit comment summed it up: "The Island Boys prove you can hit the peak, but if you don't value it, you'll crash to the bottom and no one will bother to pull you up." Perhaps that's their only legacy. A bitter lesson on the fleeting nature of fame and the steep cost of delusion.